So I'm going to talk about how to do it all and not burn out. To do it all, let's define what all is for you. So the reason this topic even started was because someone recently asked me, how do you manage to do it all? Right? And they were like, you travel, you can make time for family, you have a social life, you raise a dog, you have a successful career. Do you not feel burned out? You're only 22. You seem to be doing it all. And for this, I want to respond with a speech that inspires me to date. So on September 6, 1991, Brian Dyson, former CEO of Coca-Cola, gave a speech at Georgia Tech, and I would totally check it out if you have time. So in which he said, imagine life as a game in which you are juggling 5 balls in the air: work, family, health, friends, and spirit. And you're keeping all of these things in the air. You will soon understand that work is like a rubber ball. If you drop it, it'll bounce back. But the other 4 balls, family, friends, health, and spirit, they're made of glass. If you drop them, they'll be scuffed, damaged, and potentially even shattered. They will never be the same again. Those words are something I'm constantly cognizant of as I progress in my career. Now, I'm not saying drop all of your work and it'll bounce right back up. No, the chances of you getting fired there are pretty high. But taking the time for yourself in this process of life and career is very important. To understand how to do it all, we must first understand who you really don't want to be. The next, tech burnout. So, why am I talking about burnout? Well, burnout is too common in the tech industry today. In fact, it is said that almost a third of tech workers, 33%, claim to be burned out, and out of which 29% reportedly work long hours. Now, between the high cost of living and long commute, most tech workers end up spending 50% of their day just at work or doing something related to work. So imagine looking back at your prime years in life and all you can see is yourself sitting behind a desk on a computer. Does that really bring a smile on your face? And this is precisely why it is important to realize that burnout simply means we outperform ourselves, but not in a good way. Testing our limits and outperforming ourselves at work is important, for sure, but breaking ourselves in the process is not worth it. So I have a personal anecdote to this. When I was in university, I used to be a TA for a computer science class. And I wanted to help every single student that ever struggled in that class, right? Every student that asked for help, every student that hinted that they needed help, and every single student that didn't even ask for my help. So one day I was logging my hours and my professor basically observed that I was tutoring 30 students individually without even focusing on my own education, right? To give you some context, that's about 30 hours a week of tutoring plus the 8 hours a week working as a TA, which is like a full-time job on top of college. I would not recommend it. So concerned, my professor definitely came up to me and he's like, look, you know, you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Like many students at that time, I definitely thought that was kind of an insult at how much I could do. And just to prove him wrong, I kept doing what I was doing, right? By the end of my college semester, I started to feel a little burned out. And I realized at that point that I really needed to take a break. I really needed to stop. I just couldn't jump into my job right after. So between graduation and my first job, I actually ended up taking a 6-month break. And during these 6 months, I prioritized things that were important to me: traveling, spending time with my family, reconnecting with old friends in high school, and most importantly, figuring out if what I wanted to do in my career and how I really wanted to do it. So I was not only able to recoup, renew, and rejuvenate myself, I was also able to really define what the all meant for me. So here's really my piece of advice, tips, mind to do it all, or at least really get relatively close. If you find yourself running too fast, just slow down and take a walk. If you find yourself chasing too much, slow down and take a pause. If you find yourself pushing too much, just slow down and take a break. When you slow down, you actually define what all is for you, and you will end up doing it all. Thank you.